It's an lonely, and my team really sucks. It's an lonely, and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned the All-Star break. So I'll have to edit this audio later and say, all right, this is our mid-season classic here, All-Star break, NL only, the podcast review of the first half. There we go. Edit that later, you dumb shit.
Send it to the interns. They'll edit.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. Wayne, he's in the next room right now. I got him. He's on an exercise bike editing
Good.
bunch of other shit I made.
Yeah.
In our league, there's been one guy on top for a while, Prodigal Son, who we've mentioned before, had threatened to quit prior to this season. Not out of protest, but just out of, old age, I guess. He thought he was hitting those Justin Verlander years, I guess. But he's kicking ass. He's still at a 124.
Yeah.
And I mean, just talking about who's behind him, sub 200. How's this climb been for you, man? You're almost up to 96 points, even though you lost 2.5 yesterday.
Like I said at the last time, I have my formula. I stick with it, and I try not to get too hasty with my players. Just let them play. Eventually, they have to play to the talent that they are supposed to, and I think that's what I show.
Whew. Well, I've been showing the opposite of that, and it's not been working for me. So I can't put up a counterpoint to that, especially when you're at 21 moves and you're just climbing to the ceiling of the league. And I got 100 moves, and I'm digging my way down to the basement.
I feel like Taz, you were down lower at some point, and I feel like you're on your way up there.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple moments there where, yeah, I thought, like fourth or fifth place would be in reach, but no, I'm back down. I'm down below Eddie Goodell. I mean, this is, the shortest player in Major League history, and I can't even fucking reach up to pass him at the moment. So this is pretty sad, but we don't have to cry about my team the whole time. Sausage Racers, at least you're in the middle. You're kind of you're the midpoint between Dock Ellis and sub 200. What's going on with your team these days?
Yeah, so early on in the season, I was like top, but it doesn't last forever. So, and then I had like a meteoric fall. I think down to the bottom recently. So I've kind of crawled my way back up. I think I've really been plagued with injuries. Not too bad, but also especially on the pitching side, I've got a few people on that IL that I don't want to drop really, because I'm really hoping they'll come back, and I don't want to have someone else pick them up. Just let me pull up my numbers here. I was just looking at that recently. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so in the beginning of the year, I was like 12s across the board on offense, certain thing, and on pitching, I was pretty good too. But right now, I'm kind of I've fallen a lot in home runs and RBIs, but my pitching is mediocre right now, and I would say my strong point is averages or average and OPS. So it's kind of been a weird season. I haven't had too many injuries, but the ones I have had on the pitching side have affected me. And then I'll have these great pitchers, and they'll just have horrible games, 13 ERAs, and it's just very, very unpredictable, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah, and I see you've got Luzardo, who you can't drop, and Muncy, who you can't really drop in the NL only.
Yeah.
So I totally get that.
Muncy hasn't played in this. So.
Mm-hmm.
But the bright spot is India. India's been getting hot lately. Who prior to recently has just been just quiet. So he's getting a few homers here and there, so that's a bright spot.
Yeah, he had a great month. 347 OPS over 1,000, 20 runs scored. So, yeah, I'd say he's doing all right. And you got you got your Brew Crew players. I love Churio. I'm glad you stuck with him. I think I'll stand by what I said at the start of the year when Roberto asked me if I thought Churio would get sent down at any point. And I just said, absolutely not. He would have to go basically 0 for 30, I think, to get sent down. Because he just looks, I don't know about what you think, Jamie, but I just feel like Churio looks comfortable, you know? I mean, even if he's not doing great, nothing about him looks overwhelmed. I don't know how the fuck he's that calm at age 20, but I think.
Yeah, seriously.
I hope he keeps it going. He's, kind of improving the last couple weeks, so I hope that keeps up.
Yeah, and I think it's also been good that they haven't needed him to play every single week. They can give him some time, and if it's a tough pitcher or something he doesn't profile playing well against, they can pull him out and have him come in at the end of the game or something for whatever they need him. It's been beneficial, I think, to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. And my boy Salvatore, I still don't know exactly what Frelick is as a player. Offensively, I can't quite figure it out, with that 5'9" frame of his, and good speed, but I don't know if he's got it.
He doesn't have the power, right? He needs more power, really.
Yeah, but I get worried when he swings for power because we don't need any more. We don't need pop outs,
Yeah.
We need him to. I don't know if he'd want to. It might just be a matter of pride, but should he go to the Bryce Terang school of Tony Gwynn hitting and just start slapping all that shit to the opposite field? I mean, I don't know. It's something to think about. Not everybody wants to, put on a full save my career change like Terang did, which I think is pretty awesome, actually. But well, let's see. Any NL only top surprises? So, Jamie, you tend to stick with your team, like you said, and you probably aren't too surprised by your players because you, like you said, you picked them for a reason. But is there anybody on your roster that is maybe overperformed a little bit?
I think that Jackson Merrill, who I've been able to flip between shortstop and outfield this season, he's been really good for me. I drafted James Wood. I've been sitting on him, so I've been reaping those benefits for the last week and a half or so. So that's good, and I like to see that continuing. And just when I had some, I had Harper was on the IL for a while, but when he came off, I was able to grab Matt McLean. So I'm looking at stashing him. Hopefully for the rest of the later on the season, maybe catch a good 30 days from him at the end of the season. I don't know. We'll see. You never know. Unless I have to fill in with something else, my IL with something else. I'm still not. I'm worried about my pitching a little bit. That Wheeler came up with a little something injury there this week, although that could just be give him a little extra break with the All-Star break coming up here. So I'm not totally worried unless he hits the IL. Otherwise, my starting pitching might be a little bit too thin here to hold on to it. So we have to do something. But like I said, Jackson Merrill, he's been my pleasant surprise all season.
It's working.
Who on your team, Sammy, has delighted you with surprising good performance?
I was gonna say Willie Adames, but then I was thinking about it. I kind of knew he would have a bounce back year compared to last year. Last year he was such a letdown, and so I don't think that's going to be my answer. But I don't know. Nothing like really surprising. I think previously in another podcast I said Suzuki on the Bears, or the Cubs rather. He's been great still, but he hasn't been performing as well. I don't know. I don't really have any shockers over the last few months, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I know for a moment we saw a disembodied head there. I'm not sure if that's gonna continue. our fourth member here, but
I missed
Willie-
that. I missed that.
oh yeah, it was like a disembodied head floating, and then now we got the Golden Gate Bridge. I don't know what's going on, but
Oh, jeez.
Willie Adamas, actually, 14 dongs and 12 steals and 62 knocked in. So, you can't fret too much about that. He can be hard to watch on a daily basis because it seems like the 0 for 5s come a little too often. But
Yeah.
he's still
Yeah,
putting up the
between
numbers.
June, there's 4 straight games or 5 straight games in late June where he went 4 every time.
Yeah. Well, if I ask myself, my surprises are all bad for the most part.
Now, let's check. I'm gonna pull up your team. Let me take a look.
They really are, but I have to, I made one good pickup, and that's Ramos from the Giants, the outfielder. I don't know if it's Helio. Is it Helio? I think his name is. Yeah, he's come up with a nice 14 home run, 300 batting average, 900 OPS. It's, he's kind of like doing the jerks and Profar, just kind of like, hi, I'm really good for some reason all of a sudden,
Yeah.
So that was a good surprise. But I've kind of been.
Tobias Myers. He's been pretty good the last month or so.
Yeah, and that's, I still can't understand why I'm not doing better because my pitching is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It should be better, but yeah, you're right. Tobias Myers, that's a real good one because I picked him up pretty much from his first start. I think I picked him up. I was in Arizona in April. He came up to pitch against the Yankees, I think. That was his opener, or not opener, but his first appearance. And you're right, Jamie. He's got 4 wins, 4 quality starts, a 3.13 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. So yeah, that's a good one. Tobias Myers is definitely my good surprise pitcher.
Do you think Senga is going to come back this year?
He's been sitting on my IL for quite a long time, and yes, I do.
That would be a big. I mean, that would really fine tune your pitching because your pitching's already pretty good, and I feel like Senga's a great pitcher. So.
Yes, yeah, and Chevalier moving over to the NL to the Brewers obviously made him attractive for me, and I basically expect him to be Bryce Wilson, just serviceable innings.
I see.
If it was a mixed league, I wouldn't touch him. I mean, at all.
Are we already getting non-PC 10 minutes in? If it was mixed league, what are we talking about here, boys?
Is that a talking Golden Gate Bridge?
Hi there, ho there, howdy, and yodelioki for the NL only folkies.
We are now. Entertain us.
That's awesome.
Hey, I'm gonna let Jesus here tag me out. I gotta go hit the road.
Jamie,
So
where to?
yeah, I'm heading up to northern Wisconsin.
Well, safe travels, Jamie, and thanks for coming by. And I can't say if I want you or the prodigal son to win, but give him a run for his money at least. Give him some sleepless nights.
I'm trying. We got to start chipping away, guys. Dude, it's a team effort.
Yeah, let's work
It's a
together.
league effort.
Start sending me some trade offers, Sam. I'll give you all my garbage.
Okay, deal.
All right, later, guys.
All right, peace.
Adios,
Jamie. See
amigo.
Safe travels.
ya. Well, let's talk about your team, man.
Oof.
What's
Where to go? Where to go but up?
Yeah. Well, we've been starting with trying to find some positives. First half of the season, any pleasant surprises on your team? Somebody who's been overperforming or going good for you? I mean, you're in third place, so there's some good things happening.
Well,
There
my
he is.
head is now
Oh my God. What?
my head is now visible, but I'm not quite sure, what else to do here, folks.
It's sideways too.
I'm on original ratio. I'm hitting HD ratio.
You're hitting Horatio
Mirror my
Gates.
video. I don't know what the mirror my video option is. Porch lighting. It's just all these things. Too many apps. But to the matter at hand, to the question of the hour, Luis Garcia. I put Garcia up there as just a shock of shocks, and may have seen this come across your approval or non-approval windows, but there is a trade in the works to send, I would say, my sleeper pick of the season off for a hired gun, and if it goes through, we'll find out tomorrow.
That's right. I'm sure it will. It would take a majority of the league saying no.
I was going to ask that. Have we ever, in the records of NL only, gotten enough votes? Because it's not the majority of the people that vote; it's the majority of the people in the league.
Correct. That's my understanding. Yeah. And I saw that trade go through. There you are. Look at that.
I couldn't get rid of it, but I could rotate it.
It works. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about that trade. When I first saw it, my first thought was, God damn it! Why was I so lazy? I could have offered something that good for Zach Gallen also.
Right.
However, looking at it objectively from a purely numbers-based standpoint, your guy is a second baseman who's what, 10 steals, 10 homers already?
12 and 13, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's 10 and 10, batting 300. Sits versus lefties on occasion. There's some downside for sure, but he's a de facto everyday, second baseman for the Washington Nationals. And again, just can't speak about the kind of breakout stats that he's putting up this season. Earlier month or so back, I would have said Profar, and he's still a breakout 33-year-old. Both of those guys having essentially career years at what at one point would have been thought as the twilight of Profar's career. And with Garcia, I think it was just a foregone conclusion he wasn't going to make the team at one point. So, but yeah, I again cannot be happier with the production that he's put up. A quick last 100 bats. 13 runs, 5 dingers, 17 ribbies, 4 RBIs, and he's batting 300 average with an 830 OPS. Not bad.
Yes. Yep. Profar, so good, right? Well, he shares a locker room with Tatis, and Tatis had some special juice a couple of years ago.
They're sharing like something like ringworm remover or whatever they said it was.
Yeah, the thing about Profar is he's doing this without, it's not like he has massive power. 14 homers is good, but man.
Bummed, not bummed, surprised, not surprised that Lopez didn't make it?
Yeah, we will. Joey Ortiz, they had a big push. The timing was so awful. They had this big push for him to get voted into the All-Star game in Milwaukee, at the stadium.
It was like the week before, right?
Yeah, it was on the Jumbotron. It was the only game I went to as a fan. That was like
so that's where I voted my bunch of votes, because that was the night. That's right. I must have saw it when I was watching the game at home. And who has him in our league?
Well, I had him and just got tired, I guess, of the responsibility at a certain point. And, just dropped
Was he
him,
turning into like a Danny DeVito liability on Twins? Where Arnold Schwarzenegger's carrying the comedic presence and DeVito can't keep up? A liability, if you will?
Man, I'm telling you, I have no patience this year. I just don't know what happened. But he's a Hugh Jazz. H-U-G-H.
Good dig.
J-A-S-S. Hugh. Yeah, he has him. Good for him. If he had any guts, Hugh would be here. He's a local West Dallas. We'll just call him an educator at this point. And he should be here. Summer's off. He's a baseball Well, he's almost a cellar dweller now, so maybe he's just afraid. Maybe he's afraid to come by. So, Jared, if you're listening, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, man. What the F?
And speaking of people who can't defend themselves, Eddie Goodell is ahead of me. You missed this part of the show, Roberto, where I was saying I have sunk below the shortest baseball player in history. And Eddie Goodell, after all those rough, what do you call them? I don't even know what I was giving him. Haymakers, backhands,
Yeah.
fucking sucker punches. I don't know. The dude's ahead of me. I mean, he's not here. Of course, he's afraid, to show his
He's
face,
afraid.
but he's
So
trembling.
shall we rename the 70? Let's see, 70.5 points in our league. Is that no longer the Mendoza line? It's the Eddie Goodell line. You're
Oh,
playing
nice.
below the Eddie Goodell line. Is that what's happening?
Yep. Well, what's funny is his
Unacceptable.
scrotal imprint somehow has carried
His
him.
brethren.
Now, when did this happen? When did he switch back to Eddie Goodell? Did you guys notice?
I didn't notice until recently, just now.
I'd say in the last 78 hours.
Okay.
So I was
What's
logged
the
off,
theory
working
behind
kind of
it?
in the sticks. So it must have been like Wednesday.
Do you
I
think this is
haven't-
a strategy he's trying, or
It's a strategy.
some sort of mind games
What
he's
is the
playing with us?
strategy?
I don't know.
It is. It is.
Quit
As-
playing those mind games forever.
Crossing the barrier. Peace and love. We all be playing. So, prodigal son, as he would say, macho head games going on here from Eddie Goodell. These are macho head games. You know what my real theory is? I'll say it. I think he didn't want us to just talk about scrotal implants for another 90 minutes like we did last time.
Was it ever brought up in common conversation when you saw him in passing? Like, oh, did you check out that last pod? Or did he send you a nice little text like, well, you got to leave my imprints alone?
Hey Taz, do you know who's second in the NL Central behind us?
Is it still St. Louis?
It's still St. Louis. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah,
It's not what we predicted early on. That wasn't in our prediction.
No, I kept just operating under the assumption that they were gonna suck and suck for the entire season. So I still have no faith that the Cardinals are coming for us or for anybody.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and Samuel's bringing up the Cardinals are the nearest team in the Brew Crew's rear view mirror at this point.
Dun 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 dun. Danger Mouse.
I'm not that worried.
I don't like it for so many reasons, because they were in the basement for weeks. They were digging gravel out of their teeth just to try and get a little bit of calcium in their diet.
Ooh.
Next thing you know, they come out like a freaking pistol shrimp. Boo, 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 boo. Shooting on all cylinders, including what I would argue is the worst starting pitching that team has had in decades. But they're still winning games, man. They're still winning games. Mason Wynn, not a fan.
Yeah, again, as I was saying to Sammy, I don't have faith that the Cardinals can keep it up. Much like an elderly man searching for his last Viagra, the Cardinals are
In the dark.
Yeah, I think, they were able to find a couple pills and snort them, just for quick impact. But I don't think it's a lasting, sustainable team of players. I just don't. I know they have some good athletes, and maybe I undervalue them a little bit, but I agree with your assessment. Their starting pitching is just trash. Scrotal Goodell.
Hey, Eddie. Dirty
Mastermind.
frickin' second cousin. Is he in?
Well, he's got Jake Irvin. Let's see. Another guy gave up on. Matt Chapman is actually doing okay for the Giants with 13 dingers, 9 steals, 60 runs scored. Is he hitting that low?
Is he batting around 212? I'm guessing. The way he started the season, because I gave up on him too. But
oh yeah,
I guess with those kind of numbers,
I traded him for leftover pitching that I've already dropped. He's hitting 241. Yeah, well, he's just another guy who he wasn't exciting enough for me to hold on to, and I think one of the reasons
like you got some problems with commitment, brother. You know, you just can't you can't wait till the date to dump them.
No, or for intercourse. You know, it's like the by the time we get to the movie, we've already had sex, and I'm walking home. You know, it's like forget it. It wasn't good. I didn't enjoy myself. I'm out of here. And then 10 days later, they're off with, Bradley Cooper and shit and having a great time.
Aww.
Right?
That's your Katy Perry story right there.
Mm-hmm.
I once had a chance with Katy Perry.
Oh, man.
It is a challenge, though. I will say I'm probably on the extreme level of just sitting on guys longer than I should, drop players when needed, but because of that regret or FOMO or something, I often sit on them for a little too long.
I also think that in our league, there's not a lot of like quality on the waiver wire, so I tend to keep on to my players that are hurt that aren't doing great because I feel like they would just get snatched up. Like I'm looking for a third baseman, and there's like not even anyone close to being decent or reasonable in terms of stats. So,
you know, I got a Spencer Steer, I got Ryan McMahon. Sling me some trade offers, Sammy. Multi-position availability. Let's make it happen, dude.
Take a look.
Can either one of you search by trades just so we can review all the trades that we've had this year?
Here we go. Trades. Recent trades we've had. Nothing recently. Last two trades were June 10th.
Okay. That was
and gave up Austin Riley, man. My God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I just walked into the boxing training facility and asked for somebody to show me how it works. So yeah, let's talk about that one.
Buzzsaw, baby, buzzsaws.
Mm-hmm. Again, the impatience this year is deafening for me. So I just at that point saw Riley at 230 with like 4 home runs and 12 runs batted in, after 50 games or something. And I'm like, he's hurt. Fuck him. And I wanted fastball Freddie, and I got him. So we'll see how this trade pans out. Okay, what other trades happened? So that one it'll remain to be seen, though slightly dubious and not in my favor. Peralta or Austin Riley. What was the trade before that, Sammy?
Yeah, so we got a trade between Ryan and Nick's nifty team. Ryan got Ryan McMahon and Paxton, and it looks like Ryan gave up Max Fried and Suarez, third baseman for Arizona.
Suarez is who he is. He's currently hot, but I don't think he's been. Exactly. He hasn't been hot probably before that all year.
And at the time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to overspend a little bit because, again, Paxton had just gotten off 3 quality starts and 3 wins against quality teams. It's like his stuff isn't electric, but he gave up 4 or 5 strikeouts. He got that quality start. He got that win. So it seemed like at the moment asking for a little bit more. But that batting average, that's the killer. 210 and 650 on OPS. No bueno. And those are categories I needed help on. So that was a conscious decision to just give Nick what he countered. Do we know who Nick's nifty team is?
No. There's a second Nick. That's not Milla, and that's who this guy is. And I don't think I've ever met him.
It's been around
So-
since 21. So
Yeah, we'll have to investigate.
Yeah,
I
So
had
not Nick Miller's younger son.
not that I'm aware of.
Mhm.
Or his love child and with some other fantasy
Love
expert.
child,
fantasy
lesser than
love.
I could be. Love
I think we should
child.
open up
Talking
I think we
about
should
you
open
and
up a deep
me.
inquiry into this issue.
Mhm.
Maybe put a few people.
Whoa!
We gotta vet our people, man.
Vet.
Who is this guy?
Verify, vindicate. That's how it's gonna go, Sammy.
Mhm.
You're in charge.
Mhm.
I think the
Okay.
Milwaukee County Commissioner on NL only would be curious if that were the case. And I'll just go shots fired, potentially reflect poorly on said commissioner's commission.
Oh no!
If he's letting some insider trading going on, and he's involved in that insider trading, not saying he is, just a possibility.
Wow.
These implications are. I will not stand for these accusations.
I think we'll have a little bit of a.
Accusations are making me thirsty.
They are. They're baseless, and I prefer bass. I always want some bass.
No
Well,
treble.
I'm gonna do
Boom,
some
boom, boom,
research,
boom, boom.
and I think on the next NL only podcast, I'll come back with my findings.
Yes,
Oh.
please do.
We can discuss. We can discuss that.
You're on the
Alright.
case. You're on the case.
I'm on the case.
I mean, you're on the record, Sam. You're on the record. You're on the case.
I'm gonna
Indicate.
I'm gonna
verify.
track some movements. Look at the waivers, see what they did there. I'll
Get a-
figure it out and
Get a
report back.
long. You need a long telephoto lens. You know, get a 70 millimeter.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a pack of cigarettes. You're gonna need some trail mix. It's gonna be an all nighter.
Yeah.
Hand wipes, trail mix, Lucky Strikes, book of matches, and a pound of cut watermelon. Just to stay regular, Sammy. Going back one trade deeper, O'Neal Cruz straight up for Michael Harris.
I saw that.
That was huge ass for In Christ. Of course, we know who got the better end of that deal. Thoughts, feelings?
It's highway robbery, if you ask me. I assume that guy. I assume Harris the second just got hurt or something, right? Do we know that?
Okay. What else? What's the next one?
So we have a trade between Prodigal Son and In Christ again. Prodigal Son got Jeff Hoffman,
Oof.
relief pitcher, and In Christ got David Bednar, relief pitcher.
Okay. I'm guessing that would be a wash, except Bednar was hurt for a while.
Yeah, I'm just showing that
So
Hoffman is doing pretty well.
So not a wash. Hoffman. So Prodigal Son's the big winner so far with that one, huh?
Yeah, that's true. And also, you're right. Bednar did get hurt for like a month.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another. We may want to investigate that as well, and see if this Nick the second character didn't, perhaps put a hit out on Bed. Wait, no, he wouldn't have done that. If he's Nick Jr.
Unless Nick is Nick. Exactly.
But unless Nick is the prodigal son's son.
Now we're on to something. You taking
That would
notes in
make
the
more
notepad,
sense.
Sam? You getting that quill tip pen and moleskin paper out?
I mean, he's got 124 points in the league, Prodigal Son. I mean, this is a little suspicious.
Yep, he's
Well-
clearly deploying his love child in all directions, putting hits out on relief pitchers. He's obviously been putting something in my drinks that gives me no fucking patience.
All right, we have a trade between Clueless Mookies, which is a new name, updated name, and then In Christ again. This is the third trade for In Christ that we've covered. In Christ got Frankie Montas, pitcher, and Clueless Mookies got Manny Machado, third base.
Yeah, Machado is a slow burn. And Montes just got dropped. So
Yeah,
I guess we know. I just realized he's on the waiver wire. Give that to Clueless.
Yeah, Miller was really shooting for the moon on that one, man.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the budget version of my Austin Riley for Freddie Peralta trade.
Yeah.
Bingo.
It's very similar, and the person trading the third baseman was taking all the risk. And what was before that one? It's fun.
So this is a trade. Now we're going back to April. This is a trade I was involved in. I received Michael Bush,
You got
and I
Bush.
gave up. And I was. This was in Christ as well. Henry Davis, which was a catcher. At that top point in time, catchers were a rare commodity. They still might be, but I guess he needed a catcher pretty bad. And this was like a backup catcher I had. So, who's
Would you
not
say,
even
Sam?
not even in the league right now.
Yeah, and would you say, Sam, that Michael Bush is your best player right now?
I don't know what the best. I mean, he's not better than Contreras, I think, but he's probably my second best player.
2 bombs, 11 runs scored, 10 ribbies, batting 500 plus in the last 7 days.
Let's go. Let's go.
On a tear. A tear.
Okay, well we got a clear winner there. Win for Sammy, and then
Definitely.
I
2
know
thumbs
we're-
up, Sam.
we're probably getting towards my Chapman trade here. I'm guessing, or
Yep, this is the next one. All-Stars gave up Chapman to In Christ. In Christ gave up Rogers to All-Star.
yeah, this is Matt Chapman, the third baseman. He wouldn't put out on the first date, so I traded
Or the
him
second.
immediately.
Immediately.
That one didn't work for me. So win for In Christ. I watched Rogers pitch one game against the Cardinals, and he looked good, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And he hasn't. I dropped him, and nobody.
Yeah, ERA is a problem. He gets Ks. No, not that yet. All right, the last trade here we have is Roberto and Dock Ellis trade, going back to March. This was Campusano given to All-Stars in return for Manega, who Roberto received.
Yeah, sounds like another loss for me.
Sean, don't call me mania. Now on the whole, how has that trade panned out? I'll leave that up to you gentlemen to discuss. Campusano's still playing well for you?
No, he never did, and he is on the waiver wire right now because he hardly plays. And that was another big swing and a miss for Dock Ellis and his All-Stars. So I guess in that trade rundown, we have some clear winners and some clear losers. And the Freddie Peralta for Austin Riley trade is going to go down as a bit of a league changer. And I want to apologize to those of you out there who are ruining the day that Austin Riley helped the prodigal son rise even higher in his lead as he deploys his minions, his love children, his all the children he has sired throughout the land who have been going around and causing damage to our fantasy lives. I do apologize, but I love Freddie. It was a homer trade, and I still think that Freddie is going to be dazzling like he was last year in the second half, and I'm hoping I can save face with that.
Well said.
All right, well, we're coming down. Hopefully, Ryan bounces back here, but we're coming down to our last 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And let's see if we can project second half fantasy and then second half Brewers. What are you thinking, Sammy, for your team and the league? What do you see happening going forward, or what do you hope?
Yeah, just looking at the overall points in front of me right now, it's going to be hard to catch Prodigal. I mean, he's got 12s across the board, and his 3 categories where he's not 12. He's 4 and 2. So it's not impossible. I think, honestly, Roberto is doable for him. If Roberto gets his average and OPS up, I could see him getting pretty close. Sub 200, like we talked about, is doing pretty well as well. He's more even across the board, where Roberto's stats are kind of up and down. My stats are, I'm in I mean, what is that, like that's about a 30, 40, 50 point hole behind first place. So it's going to be tough for me. But I think there will be some movement, especially for places 2 through 5. So maybe I can sneak up there. But we'll see what happens. I think auto draft my ass. He's sitting in last place, 54.5 points.
You had 6 points yesterday alone, Sammy. 6-point bump yesterday. 8% increase. You
Did he
did.
really? Oh,
You
I
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
That's the
a big
biggest
day.
jump in a single game in a while.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan, moving forward in our fantasy league second half? What do you see? What do you hope?
Hope that I can stay in the top 4. See strong regression to the mean for everybody below me. Don't know that all the moves of our good buddy Eddie Goodell are going to pan out to anything more than a bottom 25 percentile. And Sammy, let's do some swings, get you into 5th. I'll take 2nd. I'm coming for you, Jamie. Coming for you. And I'm not going to wait till the last 2 weeks of the season. I'm coming for you, Mr. Ass.
All right. Well, I can say that I know what I've done wrong, and it's just a matter of whether I can reshape my course moving forward. I would love to climb from 9th to 4th. I don't know if it's in the cards because I got in Christ, Sausage Racers, and Clueless Mookies, and the Vex in between me, and they all play hard, and I don't think they're playing as erratically as I am. So I do believe that my pitching is going to get really good, and I think that might help me. So I might be in category mode, right? Try to hold down some wins or quality starts or something, and just take some categories away from people, and maybe flirt with 4th place by the end of the year. That's my hope. What about the Brew Crew? We got 3 minutes to wrap it up here. What do you guys think in second half? First of all, first half, can we acknowledge the team is better than we thought?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go quickly. So we were already at 54 wins. And I think that trend is going to continue. I think partially because I think our Central League is pretty trash, as we've seen. And I could just see us easily.
What are you talking about trash? You talking about the Cubbies? You talking about the Reds?
I'm talking
about Pittsburgh?
Yep.
Cardinals.
Oh.
Those are my thoughts. I think we'll do great. I'm looking forward to the second half for sure.
Yeah, I think we have enough solid defense. We're aggressive on the base paths. We're not going to get blown out of a lot of games, and I think that's going to be enough to win the Central. And I like it, and I owe Pat Murphy an apology because I was worried that he'd be a dumb manager, but I think he's doing pretty well. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, 90 seconds or less.
Yep.
We'll see how the Keuchel trade pans out. If he can give us 10 more starts and put up 5 innings of 4-run ball, I'm happy. The newest hired arm, last name sounds like some kind of disinfectant. Love him, Savali. And I really hope that we can pull the best out of him. The Brewers, as an organization, have done more with less in their pitching in the past decade plus than maybe Tampa Bay. Yep. And it has been amazing to watch. So I hope they can resurrect him and some of his high heat. And I guess if the bullpen just somehow pulls it together week in and week out and the offense stays the course, knock on wood, we got to avoid any big injuries. All that being told, I got 4 bets in for 85 wins and up. So I just need 31 more. Selfishly, boys, 31 more. Papa's going to the bank. Come on, Brew Crew. Come on now.
Yes. All right. Well, the division is ours to keep. It's ours to take. Let's go Brewers. NL only.
Go
Guys,
Crew.
thanks for being here. And enjoy the All-Star break. You can watch the game, do it. Otherwise, take care, man. Have fun and go Brewers. And let's chase down the prodigal son and all of his love children.
Let's do it,
Love
guys.
child. Something left for me, just a love child, the only one to beat. We're coming for you, Prodigal.
It's in a lonely, and my team really sucks. It's in a lonely, and nobody gives a fuck.